All right, we back, folks. It's your boy KCVL King Self for Life. Wrestling Takes. I'm here to tackle it. I said I wasn't going to talk about this particular situation in my Rampage review. I wanted to do a separate video, give this whole thing time, because I'm going to read both sides and I'm going to give my explanation on my take on everything once I'm finished. Talking about Big Swole versus Tony Khan. Now, everybody know Big Swole was, well, if you want to say, you could say if here's the deal, she wasn't released, but she allowed her contract to go to the end where she didn't renew a contract, and she said it was a mutual agreement. In other words, TK and them agreed, she agreed, and they said, okay, we're not going to renew your contract. Well, Big Swole was on a podcast and she talked about how AEW lacks diversity and lacks structure and everything. I'm just go ahead and read a little bit of what she said and everything, and we're gonna break down everything what she said, and then I'm gonna break down everything Tony Khan said, and then we're gonna go from there. Swole says the structure within the company seems to be a little off, pointing out the lack of time for women and new talent coming in. I know fans of the company don't like criticism. Well, she's right. I mean, I think about myself. I'm a hardcore AEW head, but I critique the mess out of them. I critique the mess out of AEW. I'm a realist when it comes to this AEW stuff. I don't sugarcoat nothing. So she ain't talking to me. She talking about these hardcore AEW heads that think everything AEW does is off the chain, which we know dang well it's not. She said, I know fans of the company don't take criticism well sometimes, but know this. This is someone from the inside. The structure is a little off. She said it's fine to be loose, but I like to have a little bit more structure. I felt like the women shouldn't have gone through everything they went through just to get on time. You signed to this big company, you should get time. All these men are getting time, but the women aren't getting anything or not putting people on TV because more people are coming in. There are more people coming in, but you don't have enough product for all these people. Swole also discussed what she felt was a lack of diversity, particularly within AEW's hierarchy. I do not beat around the bush when it comes to this diversity and my people, she said. There's no representation truly. And when there is, it does not come across in the black community as genuine at all. And I don't know why everyone is so afraid to accept it or say it, but it's not a good look. What happens is you have this wonderful company that treats people like family, but there's nobody that looks like me that is represented at the top. They are not in the room with them. They're not helping to necessarily influence decisions, but to explain why certain slang, why there are certain words that shouldn't be said. There's no one else who can explain our culture and experience except for us. I believe that AEW is making better strides than before, but a couple of things need to be fixed. She later added, you have to be able to call upon or call out people or call people out because not everything is not perfect. I hope they listen to this with an open heart and not just, she just saying this because X, Y, and Z. I genuinely want them to succeed. I love art. I love to be creative. I love wrestling, and I want it to succeed. And I want the people in it to succeed if they are genuine people. And then she started talking about WWE and all this and everything, that. So, a lot of people was all up on Big Swole's niggas. They was on her helmet. They was calling Big Swole a race baiter. I mean, you name it. That's all people know. That's it. Listen, a lot of people, they don't think Big Swole was all that in the bag of chips. I'm going to be 1,000% with you. I like Big Swole. I think Big Swole had charisma. I think Big Swole had the potential of being somebody special. But I'm going to be 1,000% with y'all. Big Swole really, she needs a lot of improvement when it comes to in-ring ability. And that's my girl. I love Big Swole. But she need a lot of improvement. So I'm not going to sit up here and just be like, just because, I don't know. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to allow people to just take a dump on her just because of that. That's one of the biggest issues. A lot of people just like to take a dump on Big Swole just because who she is. Y'all don't understand. Big Swole is not just a woman. She's a black woman. And one of the biggest things, or one of the most neglected people or group in wrestling is black women. Black people in general, but especially black women. especially let's call it for what it is. The fully melanated or the dark skinned ladies like Big Swole, like a Naomi, you know, those are the ones that everybody just always seem to just jump on, just take a dump on, just disrespect and all that stuff, right? So a lot of people was trying to say she was just using this as a crutch because she wasn't good, so she wanted to pull the race card and everything. Well, let's go ahead and talk about what Mr. Tony Khan said. So Tony Khan, he called himself clapping back without actually doing as she said, with a genuine heart. Listen to it. Don't get offended. Just take the criticism and take what I said and make your product better in the areas that I'm talking about. This dude got offended and said, hey, the top two AEW execs are Brown, me, and Mega. Jay Bowens, Caster, Dante, Nala, Isaiah, Mark Quinn, all won on TV this month. The TBS title tournament has been very diverse. I let Swole contract expire as I felt her wrestling wasn't good enough. They ain't gonna say street fight tonight. Let me tell y'all something. I love TK, but let me tell you something. TK is he's very immature when it comes to this social media thing. He is supposed to be a businessman and a professional. This was unprofessional to the highest order. He could have just took what she said and just ran with it and not put that last line out there. Because when he put that last line, I'm not even talking about all the other stuff. That last line, when he put that last line out there, that was basically saying, look, you garbage. And I'm gonna bury you, and I don't give a crap what you gotta say. Well, when people see that, you know where they're gonna go. You already know where cats' mindset are going to go. They're gonna say, well, look at this dude. First, you sitting up here trying to say, well, look at all these black people that I put up that actually got a win on television. That's the whole I got black friends and that's enough. No, you could have just said, you know what, man, I heard what Big Swole had to say, and you know what, I'm going to take what she said into consideration. But from here on out, I wish her in future endeavors. That's easily what he could have said. Or he could have just kept quiet. But TK always loved clapping back. That's his game. That's what he liked to do. This particular time, he put his foot in his mouth again. And now look. Hashtag TK is racist was all over the place. I got a whole lot of cats that I know they can't stand TK now. Like they really didn't like AEW then, but they said, look, I ain't mess with AEW no more because of what was said about Big Swole right there. You know, so Leo Rush clapped back too. He told that man, hey, you need to apologize. And I'm like, oh snap. Leo Rush, he got enough kahunas. That's all I gotta say. He got enough kahunas. But he had to cow on that statement he made because apparently he said that Tony Khan and him reached out. Let me go find his statement. Let me find it. Hold on, give me 1 second. All right. So I read what Mr. Leo Rush had to say. So he said, positive change for 2022. He said, I want this to be clear. I do not consider this to be a diversity issue, and I am at no point have thought or said that AEW or Tony is racist. We can all clearly see that wrestling as a whole and the AEW roster is perpetually diverse. The issue at hand was a racially insensitive issue. Having spoken to Tony Omega, we have discussed the endeavors to further understand the struggles of the black community. I am grateful to be able to understand more about Tony Omega own ethnic backgrounds and glad that they are actively seeking input from an African American's perspective. I am proud to work for a boss and company that try to make these strides in social media equality. I look forward to working with Tony. Forgive me, y'all, because I'm about to say so. Working with Tony to keep making steps towards positive change. I pray that 2022 is a year of positive change in all aspects. Happy New Year. And God bless be the change. Now, the reason why I was laughing is because let's just give me the book. Leo Rush, dog, he was about to beat the heck up out of there. He knew. Right, let me go ahead and put this out. Yeah, but yesterday you had Sean Dean, you had Taya, you had Hikira Shida, you had Wheelhouse. Everybody was coming to that man's defense and everything. So let's strive all the way back to what Big Swole should have said in the first place. When she meant diversity, she wasn't talking about everybody. What she should have said was, I'm just going to be front. AEW has a serious problem with showcasing more black talent. Instead of saying diversity, because AEW has a host of Hispanic folk, they have a host of Asian people, they have a host of all different kinds of strides and races, and who have been featured in prominent roles, if you get my drift. When it comes to the black talent, yes, we get featured, but every time we come on the show, we either jobbing out to somebody, and that's about it. We just come out, we just job, that's it. And when I say job, it might mean we have a decent match, but at the end of the day, we finna lose and look completely silly. That's basically what she was trying to say. This whole diversity thing ain't got nothing to do with everybody else. She should have been specific with her words, because AEW got so many different cats from all different backgrounds. So that diverse part is true. They are very diverse with everybody else. She was basically speaking about ain't nobody black or when she said look like me or look like her daughter or whatever, in those positions, especially like when there's people in the meeting rooms and talking and everything. That's what she was talking about. She wasn't talking about everybody else. And then she did have to go down and start saying everything else. But no, what she meant was she was talking black folk. That's what she was talking about. And I'm going to be honest with you, Big Swole always been vocal about this, because she been one of the ones to be always up in those spaces all the time. She be in the Twitter spaces all the time, and they be talking about this all the time. So this ain't nothing that Big Swole really wasn't talking about. Like, she been saying this. Like, this is just now, it's getting the public, it's in the public eye now because she's not there. And the fact that what Tony Khan said, it just really blew everything up. Because let's keep it a buck. If it wasn't for what Tony Khan said, won't nobody really talk about Big Swole. Nobody. But the fact that what Tony Khan did and how he was very unprofessional with what he said, now everything has been blown out of proportion. And like I say, when it comes to TK, look, I like TK, but yeah, he got some work to do, especially when it's concerning us. Now let me tell y'all how I feel when I see us, because I don't know if y'all ever peep me when I say AEW got to get us right. This is what I mean by getting us right. Have us being featured, have us get prominent wins on Dynamite and Rampage. So when the time calls for it, for us to be potentially pushed into the main event scene, you're going to know, okay, this cat right here, he's ready. Or this cat right here, she's ready. Why? Because you've been seeing them on a regular basis. I told y'all, this is the same stuff that happened. We didn't know who the heck Hangman Page was, 3 years ago? Fast forward to today, he one of the best AEW World Heavyweight Champions on the planet right now. I ain't know who that dude was. I just seen some Red Dead Redemption cowboy wearing clown. That's all I saw. But he one of the best in the game right now. I mean, let's call it for what it is. Like I said, I didn't know who MJF was. I didn't know who an OC was. I didn't know who a Jungle Boy was. I didn't know who a Britt Baker was. But why do we know who these cats are? Because these cats were being featured heavy, even when they was garbage to say. Let's call it for what it is. Because people always want to bring up this terminology where cats didn't pan out because they wasn't great. Most of the cats that I named outside of Hangman, most of those cats really weren't on nothing. They weren't on nothing. I didn't know who Darby Allin was. I just saw this Daisy Duke wearing a guy riding a skateboard with half skeleton face. I'm like, who this cat is? Now he one of the best in the game. Why? Because he was able to be featured. This is who they featured. This is who they put out there for us. And now he's a fan favorite of mine. Or I'm a fan favorite of his. You know what I'm saying? Same thing, like I said, with Britt. Britt, even though with the situation with her, I told y'all about Britt. I think one of the major reasons why Britt is great when it comes to promo and everything, and she got the character and all that. But in-ring ability is because a lot of that can be focused on the fact that she's half foot in the wrestling world and the other foot is in the dentistry because she truly is a real dentist. So you can go ahead and say that that's one of the major reasons why she's not all that as she claims to be. But I still like her. I still respect what she brings to the table. And for some reason, when the shoe is on the other foot, when it's concerning the cats that look like us, everybody always got some kind of issue. Everybody always say, well, here you guys go playing a race card and all this crazy stuff. They ain't got nothing to do with that. We just saying we just want the same opportunities. And we're not talking about, because this is what people think. People think, oh, when you talk about the black talent, you just want them to get the titles. No, because that's the tokenism that takes place in WWE. This is what I'm telling y'all. This is one of the major reasons why I hate the WWE. Because the only reason we get championships over there is because of a bunch of panderism. It's panderism. It's just pandering. It's pandering. And they're not booking us right or nothing. I'm telling you. It's just, oh, let's just throw somebody black up there. And then for some dumb reason, us black wrestling fans, we so gullible, we fall for it every time. But then when they disrespectfully take the title off us in a disrespectful manner, ask Kofi Kingston, ask Bianca Belair, oh, we get up in arms, we claim WWE's racist, and then we tune right back in like everything is all good. Meanwhile, when Tony Khan does this stupid stuff, which everybody had every right to call him out. But like I said, the name in the game is give us the opportunities, and don't just have us going out there to lose all the time. And then, like I say, when it comes to building us up right, don't have us buck dancing. I told you, these stereotypical gimmicks, it seems like that's the only way cats know how to book black people is if we have these extra shucking and jiving gimmicks that make absolutely no sense. I'm like, I don't need all that. We don't. That's it. It's like you see somebody black. Oh, they got to be this angry black man, or they got to be a basketball player, or they got to be a rapper, or she got to be dancing all day. I'm like, is that all you know? Like, man. But like I said, when it's concerning AEW, present us. Like, I like what they're doing with Jay. I'm gonna talk about Jay Cargill. I like what they're doing with Jay. But now, with the situation that's going to take place, I'm very interested to see how Twitter going to react, because we already know, regardless what happens, regardless if Ruby wins, regardless if Jay wins, this is going to happen. Jay wins, oh, Tony's just pandering. It's a political agenda. Pandering. If she loses, see, this is it. Tony Khan's racist. He's racist as heck. It's a no-win situation. A no-win situation whatsoever. None. And I'm like, and I hate it. I hate that. Like I said, I tell y'all all the time, y'all must think cats that look like me or sound like me. Shout out to the cats over at Grapsody. Y'all know who they are. That's Will Washington. That's my man Phil and Mr. Righteous Reg. They had an outstanding stream because they discussed this topic earlier. Them brothers, they tore the house down. I respect all three of them cats. Those cats are in the wrestling media. They told the truth, and I respect that. We don't want to keep coming on here belly aching about this issue. Like, I don't know why people act like that's all we are. Like, no, we don't want to keep talking about it, but like I keep saying, when the situations constantly keep being brought up, even if it's being brought up by us, you best believe we're going to discuss it, because why? It hits home. See, a lot of people don't want to talk about this. I've been saying this. Wrestling has been dominated by white men forever. It has been dominated by white men. This is no disrespect to my white audience, because I got a lot of white cats that tune in to me on a regular basis. But I'm just telling you the bold-faced truth. It's been dominated by white men. So the moment when cats like Big Swole speak up and speak out, you're really ready to silence her. I'm going to say this. Big Swole ain't the best wrestler in the game, but I'm not finna sit up here and just use that as a crutch to take shots at her. That is what we talking about. You can have constructive criticism and not be disrespectful. That's one of the biggest issues with a lot of cats in IWC. They don't know how to have constructive criticism. They don't know how to be respectful with their criticism. They always got to go low. They got to say, oh, using the race card, all this crazy stuff. No, it's because this issue has been going on forever. It's been going on forever. And like I say, let's talk about the cats that look like me that, again, favors WWE, because we think when we see a Big E win a championship or when we see a Bianca or Sasha, we think that's a win. No, it's not. You got to look at how they being presented. How is their title run? How are the feuds? What is going on? What you look at the ins and outs of what's going on, and then you come back and you tell me that was off the chain. You can't. You can come up with every excuse on the planet. You can't. So I'm here to tell y'all right now, yes, hold Tony Khan to a higher standard, of course. I told you, stay on his helmet. Yes, stay on his helmet about this issue. However, let's give him another opportunity. Until we see one of us have a title and then we end up losing the championship in under 10 seconds, what can we say? Yes, TK needs to be checked for the foolish comments he made about Big Swole. Like I said, he said what he said because he believed what he said was authentic. He thought it was authentic, but let me tell you something. It might be authentic to you, but what you say, how you say it, cats are going to look at it a completely different way than how you do. Then you had the nerve to go say, "Oh look, I got these Negroes over here. These are my guys." Like, what does that mean? What does that have to do with anything? Like, come on, let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. I'm serious. This is, like I say, this is the issue that social media, the IWC, everybody got their takes. I heard so many different cats, people talking about this situation. Some cats said that this has nothing to do with race and that you get over based on your merit and all this crap. And you know what? I can say at a point, you're right. But the moment when let's say we do get over, everybody always has some type of issue. This is what I'm talking about. When we get over, cats have an issue. Cats have issues 24/7. That's why I say it don't matter. We can have the merit. We can be great in the ring. We can be great on the mic. But then everybody always got an issue. Every time. It never ceases to fail. It happens all the time. You know. And like I say, shout out to Big Swole. I pray for her healing over the Crohn's disease or whatever. But I just hope that she can get better in the ring. Whatever she plan on doing. I think she getting ready to go against my African queen girl, Trisha Dora. And I saw Trisha Dora said that her mama just passed away. So send your prayers up to her, because she said that her mom just passed away and everything. And also too, I didn't say that, but I don't know if she has any other family members that's still around. But prayers up to Betty White's family. If she have any family that's still alive. That girl was supposed to be 100 years old in about 17 days, and she died on New Year's Eve at the age of 99. She lived a long life. Part of the Golden Girls group, all that stuff. She lived a long life, and I thought it was a joke. When I seen it. I was like, dang, that's messed up. But yeah, like I said, this conversation, listen, I always like to have conversations with people who differ when it comes to this type of situation. But if we're going to have the conversation, let's listen, because sometimes cats don't want to listen. Cats, they act like they got all the answers, and then, like I said, when you come at them and you come at them with a respectful tone, you don't try to out-talk them or nothing like that, then they just ready to jab at you. Like I said, I love to have these type of conversations. Why? Because they're gonna bring an awareness that has plagued the wrestling business forever. It ain't just WWE, ain't just AEW, ain't just Impact. It's plagued wrestling as a whole. This is why. Oh, and see, here's another thing too. A lot of people want to talk about it. Tony Khan and them was the first one to say we're not like WWE. I said it on the first day. I said, when I seen that dumb post, I said, don't tell me you're not like WWE. Show me you not like WWE. This is what a lot of people don't want to understand. A lot of people look, yeah, I'm a hardcore AEW head, but like I said, I've always had kept him to the fire on that situation. Now I'm not like a what's that bozo Alfred Canua. I ain't like him because he just be bug dancing. But when they said that statement, see that's the statement that a lot of people always fall back on, that a lot of people don't want to talk about. They were the first ones that said we're not like the other company. Okay then, show us exactly why you're not like the other company. You see what I'm saying? Like don't tell me. That's why I say I seen it. This is 2 years ago when AEW first got started and they was showing up, debuted on TNT, and I seen that goofy tweet. They had the whole rainbow background. They had I think the Jacksons was on there. Who else? I know the Jacksons was on there. I'm talking about Nick and Matt Jackson, Young Bucks. It was a couple others that was on the picture, and they said we're not like the other company. I said, well, there it is. This is why a lot of people, especially a lot of cats in my community, hold them to the fire on that statement, because they was the first ones to open up their mouths and say we're not like the other company. Well, if you're not like the other company, do better. Do better. That's all we ask. We just want a show or a product where we feel like we're welcome. And like I said, and when we showcase what we can do, don't have us bug dancers. Don't have us doing all that, buffoonery like goes on over in the WWE. Because like I said, I mean, most of us want to, listen, I tell y'all all the time, it's a lot of black folk that want to give AEW a chance. They really do. Trust me, I know a lot of them. But it's just certain things that just be caused to pause. They be caused to pause. I'm serious. It'd be a lot of them. They'd be like, okay, you want to grow your audience. You don't want to neglect them. I told you, one of the most neglected audience in wrestling history is the black audience. People be talking about the 18 to 49 demographic. That's great. But who do you think most of those 18 to 49-year-olds are watching? Shoot, let's just keep it a buck. Like I'm serious. I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be offensive or nothing. I'm just telling you the bold-faced truth. They always focus on that 18 to 49 demographic. Well, what demographic is mainly represented from that 18 to 49 demographic? Y'all know exactly who it is. I seen one cat talked about wrestling is about marketing. Okay, then, well, if it's about marketing, why don't you go ahead and try to market to a different audience and add on to the audience that you have so that you can grow your audience instead of neglecting a whole lot of folk who think that your company is just as bad as the other company when it's concerning cats that look like me. I mean, make it make sense, dude. Please just make it make sense. I'm serious. I'm just... This whole situation, man, it wouldn't have been crazy, like I said, if Swole's interview thing didn't come out and then TK clapping back like he always try. Like I said, he needs to learn from this. He needs to learn. I think he personally needs to make a public apology to Swole and say, listen, I was wrong with two left shoes saying that. Like I said, we mutually agreed. I let your contract run out. I personally, and it's funny, people is actually hold him to the fire because a couple of months ago he said that he thought Big Swole was an excellent wrestler. So somewhere you got to make it make sense. Kind of by backtracking like a mug, extra backtracking. I'm serious. Like I said, man, look, this whole situation. Like I said, yeah, if you want to say it got blown out of proportion, because TK with his I gotta clap back, don't know how to take criticism. That's one of the biggest issues that a lot of people in AEW need to learn, to take criticism. Now, when it's somebody being disrespectful, don't even pay no attention to them, because that's just them. There's a lot of there really are a lot of people that are wrestling fans that want AEW to die, and they believe that this was the thing to do. Now, do I think AEW is going to die? Hey, to the freaking no. AEW's built up an audience where a lot of cats who love this product is because they feel they get real professional wrestling with awesome storylines that keep people invested outside of what goes on over in WWE. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, one thing is for sure, or two things is for sure. You want to build your audience. I keep telling y'all every week when I do my Dynamite review, continue doing what you're doing with the ladies because I'm loving it. That was an excellent tag team match. The street fight they had, it was great. That was by far the best match all four of those girls took part in. It was great. Keep doing what you're doing. Then, like I say, next thing is continue to get us right. Now, don't just mention cats' names like how you did TK and then do absolutely nothing with them. This is what I said. This patty cake game. Oh, look, I got a couple of Negroes over here. No, don't tell me nothing about that. Don't tell me nothing about that. You just show me. You put these cats out there and you show me why these cats belong on this product. You show me why I should be invested in these cats. You know what I'm saying? I want to see more cats that look like me featured in the top. Yes, I do. I want to see us featured in all the areas. I want to see us featured in all the areas that's on the product. Not just at the main event scene. Yes, when we get there, we're going to be there. And I want it to be genuine. I don't want it to be like what Big Swole said. Because she felt it's not genuine. I said, you know what? If it quacks like a duck, it ain't a dang mongoose. So let's call it for what it is. Now, for people who's running around here calling TK racist, no. Do I think he has a lot of undertones to him where his ego is so in the way that he acts like he knows it all? Sure. I don't think he's the white supremacist. I don't know. But he has a lot of ways in him where he can get misconstrued and not actually have any type of empathy towards the cats that don't look like him because he had the nerve to say, I'm a brown person. No, don't tell me nothing about you being a brown person, dude. I don't want to hear nothing about that. I told you, this whole stuff about diversity can be simpled up if you just go out there and you continue to sign cats that don't look like you. Sign cats that, you know, that and when you get them under your thing, when you get them under the AEW linear or whatever you want to call them, showcase them getting prominent wins on a Rampage or a Dynamite. Because all these cats would be saying, well, Dark and Elevation are for the cats that's not good in the ring. I understand that. But there's a whole bunch of cats that you keep showcasing that ain't good in the ring, and you keep putting them on Rampage, you keep putting them on Dynamite. We can call it for buck. You know, like I said, yes, I said the four girls that went out there and had that excellent street fight. I still don't think that they great wrestlers. Now, out of all four of them, I think Tay is the best one out of all four of them. But you see how you still feature them, and you allowed them to go out there to have that outstanding match. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see the disconnect? So then when a lot of cats that look like Big Swole or look like me, when they watched it, they say, you know what, that's excellent. But when are the cats that's going to look like us get that same opportunity to go out there and have a great, outstanding match? And it don't even need to be in a hardcore type of match or whatever. It's just simple of letting the cats get the opportunity and let them go out and showcase what they bring to the table. And then we just critique from them, you know. But like I said, I told you, I don't like to do this. I don't like to constantly keep doing this because what it does is this whole it brings this. And I'm gonna say it like this: the IWC has always been divided. We've been racially divided. This whole world has been racially divided. Like I said, I just hate it. I don't like, you know, the divide. I don't, because at the end of the day, we all eat the same crap. We all use the washroom. We all drink water. We all bleed red. We just have different pigmentations. That's it. But for some reason, cats in the IWC will always try to make it seem as if we're different. And they'll always push the hierarchy up and say, oh, well, you ain't doing this, you ain't doing that. Last I checked, our people don't never do that with everybody else. We always come on here and we keep it a buck. We keep it fair. I said I keep it fair when I'm critiquing the cats that don't look like me. I keep it fair. If they match was trash, I'll tell you it's trash. But I'm not finna say they match was trash because they white or because they Asian or because they Hispanic. No. That's like I said, that's an issue that a lot of cats in the IWC, that's a heart issue. You gonna have to deal with that with the Most High. That is a heart issue. that pride in you that you feel that your race is superior to somebody else, that's a heart issue, man. That's a heart issue. I'm serious. Like I said, it shouldn't be that these the type of uh type of issues that we have to constantly keep bringing up because of that. But unfortunately, it is because so many people in the IWC hold those hatred type of views in their heart, and it spews out all over social media. It spews out every time. They'll try to say it's not. They'll try to say, "Oh no," but you clearly see it. You clearly see it. And like I said, for me, I do my best to critique a person based on what they do in the ring, not because of what they look like. That's what I do. Over here, KCVille Wrestling Takes, I tell you, I keeps it real. I keeps it 100. I keeps it fair. But like I said, when issues like these always come up, I will do my best to give an elaborate take, keeps it fair, be open, be upfront with the whole situation. But like I said, this issue it's caused all kind of division. It really has. And that wasn't Big Swole's thing, because if you listen to, she never took one shot at TK. That's what TK, he got into his feelings. That's what it was. And he said, okay, you know what? Look, you say that, I'm going to clap back and I'm going to say that. No, that's not what you do. So I say, moving forward, somebody going to have to help that man when it comes to social media, addresses certain things like, bro, don't do it. Because now, like I said, it's going to cause cats to look at you and think, man, do you actually give a crap about the cats that look like me? Because you starting to act just like Vince McMahon. I'm not going to call you a white supremacist, but you starting to act just like Vince McMahon. You really are. I'm not going to go there. I'm finna say all that. But you're starting to act like it. And listen, let me go ahead and break down the term white supremacist. White supremacist does not just mean white people. For some dumb reason, people get caught up on that term because they hear the term white supremacy. No. It holds the stamina because it is the statement of somebody who has a superiority mindset, and they would be backing up that terminology. I don't care what race. There's a whole bunch of black people that hate black people. They sit up and they quote unquote okay a whole lot of statements that come from cats that okay that terminology. But they black. You'll call them a black white supremacist. Or somebody who is Hispanic. You'll call them that. You'll say that. So Tony Khan, even though matter of fact, he's biracial because his mom was white. So, but like I said, I'm not calling him one. I know there's a lot of people that think he is. A lot of people think he's racist. I don't think he is. I don't. Because and just because what he's doing with Jade, that doesn't give him a pass. And I still think Ruby Soho is winning. Now, like I said, it's a no-win situation when it comes to that. It's no win. Like I said, Twitter gonna be in the shambles. And I'm looking forward to this match, to be honest with you. I can't wait. Because a lot of people say, oh, I'm done. I'm not watching AEW no more. I said, this is very funny. These are the same fools, like I said, right after what took place at the Summer Joke, Toon race. They was all over social media. Man, WWE's racist. They racist. Boo, 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 that. Boo, 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 that. And tune right back in to WWE. Now he's these same fools that said, I'm not watching AEW ever again because of what Tony Khan said about Big Swole. Fine. If that's the case, if that's what you want to do, that's on you. Me, I'm still gonna watch the show. Like I said, was he in the wrong with what he said? Absolutely. Big Swole should have worded what she said a better way. Instead of saying diversity, she should have just been upfront and said, listen, AEW need to get the black talent to where they need to be. That's what she should have said. She said, don't say nothing about the diverse, because it's very diverse, but it's a lacking of the cats that look like her in those top positions, or at least being presented to get into those positions. That's what she should have said, because you got the Sheeters of the world. You got the Rios of the world. You got the Nyla Roses of the world. You got the Serena Deebs of the world. You got the Lucha Bros of the world. You got Andrades of the world. You got, you name it. So a very diverse place. What she was talking about is strictly black folk. That's what she was. That's what she should have just been specifically. Because when you put the word diverse, you make it seem as if they don't represent nobody else but white folk. Now that's where the canoers and all them clowns like to come to the picture and start saying all that buffoonery, which that's not that ain't right. Listen, I've said my piece on the situation. Um, Y'all know what to do. Hit the comment section up. I'm very interested to see the comments on this video. And when you say your comment, make sure you keep it in a respectful manner. Even if you disagree with everything I said, just keep it in a respectful manner. I'll read what you had to say. If it's at least at a respectful manner, you already know what you're going to get after you post your comment or whatever. This is your boy Casey King Self Life Wrestling the Takes. I'm gone. You guys have a blessed one. Holla at me.